All right, hopefully a quick video on just some of the features on this bike. It's a 2001 Road King. This is carbureted, so I have a different quick video on startup procedure, as it's a little bit different than fuel injected than just pushing the button. So one of the things to notice, you got a cup holder back here. It can be taken off, but it's pretty useful for both people. All the bags have a locking position, or a lock that's the same as the ignition. The ignition has a lock, and there was a fork lock in here. I have the replacement part, but it broke on somebody's ride and almost got them stuck. So it's better to just do the ignition, and if somebody wants to steal the bike really badly, they're going to be successful. So regardless of what you do. So you have rear seat. So there's two latches. You pop them here and here, pops right off. Takes a little bit of practice with alignment to get it back on. It's a push button, or there's a little bit of a push button sort of lever action there, but once it's on, you'll know it clicks. Covered the fuel system and choke in the startup video. Gearing you should know. Same with any bike with floorboards. Forward for the first one, and then back for the rest. Let's go to another convenience item you have here. You have two switches here. These are your fog lights or your passing lights. I tend to just run them always because it's just extra safety. This light controls your auxiliary power to anything that'd be connected to it. So in this case, it is a charger. This charger also has, the bike is on, bike has to be on, this goes up, you have a charger, you push this button, hey, and it shows the battery, which right now could use a little bit of a charge. So we're gonna do that. But as long as it's, in the medium 12s, you're good to go. So, you always have to have this up. This will only run or charge your phone if you also push the button. There's two USB ports down here underneath, which cover, which are compatible with anything. Over here, cruise control, old school style. This slides back and forth with the throttle. So this is the farthest forward it goes back. If you're throttling and you want cruise control, push with your thumb, it'll hold it. Doesn't hold it too hard, so if you want to turn it off, you just roll forward. There you go. So won't affect your ability to stop or anything like that because it's not gripping that hard. Again, with these, locks on both sides. They have latches. There's stuff in here. I have packets. I haven't emptied this out yet. You do have a charging port over here. So if the battery needs to go on a tender, or technically if you want to charge something else, you've got that option there, but use at your own risk. You have windshield mounts here and here on both sides. You sort of latch on the bottom and push on the windshield. It'll stay in place. There's only really one way to get it. And you'll pull a little latch to pull it forward. That's assuming you're going to use the windshield at all. I always leave an extra zip tie here. It's an extra option to have the front brake always on. If, say, you parked on a hill or something like that, and besides leaving gear, you want some extra security in case somebody bumps it or somebody touches the shifter. This is probably evident, but this is your gas here. Open it up. I usually just put the tip of the gas filler into it and then fill up. It holds 5 gallons total, which means you'll never get 5 gallons in it. If you're well into the 4s, that means you ran it pretty low. Fuel gauge is fairly accurate. It will go all the way beyond E before it hits the reserve, which is that. That gives you 0.9 gallons left, so maybe you get 30 plus miles, but I wouldn't risk it. If the bike starts coughing and you have to turn the reserve on, you should head to a gas station immediately. Phone, works. I wouldn't mess with the angle because, again, you don't want it to bump against anything, but it's here. Works good with GPS. Clock should be accurate. Here is a spot where I have for a Easy Pass, which I'll include so you have lesser tolls and can cut through. The plate is registered onto Easy Pass too, so even if you forget it or you miss something, I'll be getting the toll regardless. Other than that, it's pretty much like all of the bikes, other than the fact that it's carbureted, which just takes a little bit of a different start process, but from that it sounds better, and to some degree it's more reliable, because if it does have an issue, it's usually fixable, as opposed to having to replace a whole system, which can take a while. So oil, in the event you need to check it, but I always check it before rides. You have to make sure these, let me turn it till, missed it. These witness marks line up, the 2 dots, and that'll let you pull it out, because it has, as you can see, a little tooth. So get that in alignment. You can see temperature wise where it is, and I usually have it turned so that 200 is straight down. You'll be able to see this if you sort of scooch back and look down between your legs. You'll be able to see the temperature, but I've never had any overheating issues. I run good oil. And then you have a oil pressure gauge over here, which again, is just nice to see, but I've never had any issues. It's going to fluctuate between 30 when it's nice and hot and running for a while, to 60 when it's cold and just getting started. So other than that, you shouldn't have to mess with anything else. If you have any questions or issues, you should have my cell phone number. But most of the stuff is similar to all other Harleys. Enjoy your ride.